Students, in the last class we studied about standard unit of measurement and measuring a length using a ruler or a scale and measuring length of a curved line. Hope you understood. Today we are going to start motion and types of motion. So let's start. First of all, what is motion? When an object changes its position with respect to its surrounding, then the object is said to be in motion. For example, a car or a bus moving on the road, an ant crawling on the floor, aeroplane in the sky. We call them, they are in motion. On the other hand, when the position of an object does not change with respect to its surrounding, it is said to be in rest. It is said to be in rest. For example, a house and all the furniture lying in the house are in rest. To know whether an object is in a state of rest or motion, we need a fixed point, also known as reference point. For example, if you stand near a window of your house and you see a boy walking, the boy is in a state of motion with respect to your house. So your house is the reference point. It is in rest position. So you are saying that boy is in motion. He is walking. Rest and motion are relative terms. They are interconnected. How? Imagine yourself sitting in a train and looking outside the window of the train. You see trees, field, some station and other trains changing their position. Means you see outside and they are moving, but actually they are in rest and you are moving. Thus you are in motion with respect to them, these things. But you do not change the position with respect to your other passengers. You see your co-passengers and you are in rest. Therefore, in relation to the passenger, you are in a state of rest. But in relation to the outside the window, field, station, they are static, they are stationary, they are in rest, and then you are in motion. But in relation to passengers, co-passengers, you are in a state of rest. So you can say rest and motion are relative terms. Thus we can conclude that object can be in a state of rest with respect to the one object and in the state of motion with respect to the others. Okay. Now come to types of motion. You must have noticed the motion of many objects. They are all different from each other. A car moves in a straight line. Athlete runs on a curved track. A spinning top spins round and round on its axis. A string of a guitar moves to and fro. We can categorize motion into the following 5 types. They are types of motion: translatory motion, rotational motion, repetitive motion, oscillatory motion, and random motion. First, translatory motion. When an object changes its position as a whole, matlab totally it changes its position. Every part of it moves with respect to any stationary object. It is said to be in translatory motion. A car moving on a road leaves and fruits falling from the tree, birds flying from one tree to another. Here you see that the position is changing as a whole. All are examples of translatory motion. Translatory motion is further divided into two types, rectilinear and curvilinear. What is rectilinear? Rectilinear motion, the motion of an object along a straight line or straight path in one direction is called rectilinear or linear motion. A car moving on a straight road, athlete running on a straight track, train is moving on a straight track. They are all example of rectilinear, means सीधी line में चलना. Curvilinear, second is curvilinear of translatory motion. It can be understood just by its name, curve, curvilinear. Rectilinear, straight, curvilinear, curve. When a body moves along a curved path, then it is said to be curvilinear motion. A basketball thrown in the basket with a curved motion. A train moving on curved track, then it is curvilinear motion. If train is moving on a straight track, it is called rectilinear motion. And if it is moving on a curved track, then it is called curvilinear motion. And both are right. So you understand curvilinear and rectilinear. Second is rotational motion. When an object moves around a fixed point, it is said to be rotational motion. Its best example is spinning a top. See here, this is spinning top, or you call them lattu. This is a good example of rotational motion. You can understand. In this type, when an object moves around a fixed point, it is said to be in rotational motion. In this type of motion, different part of the object move different distance in the given time. For example, in a rotating fan, ceiling fan, the outer portion of the blade will make bigger circle than the inner portion of the blade. Rotation of earth on its axis, revolution of earth around the sun, spinning of top, all are example of rotational motion. Okay. Third is repetitive motion. Name itself tells repetitive, means it is repeating. When object repeats its motion, it is said to be in repetitive motion. Repetitive motion is further again categorized into two. In both cases, they are repeating, and they are first periodic and second non-periodic motion. Periodic motion means under a fixed or regular interval of time. When an object repeats its motion after regular interval of time, it is known as periodic motion. Best example, hands of a clock. It is changing and it is moving on a fixed interval of time. So, hands of a clock is a example of periodic motion. Non-periodic motion means it is repetitive but not under the regular interval of time. When an object does not repeat its motion after regular interval of time, it is said to be non-periodic motion. Third is repetitive motion. categorized under two, periodic motion and non-periodic motion. Best example of non-periodic motion is blinking of our eyes or blinking of our eyelid is example of non-periodic motion. Means it is repetitive, it is repeating, but not under the regular interval of time. Okay, this is third type. Fourth one is oscillatory. Here is a phrase to and fro. The to and fro motion. To and fro means a motion which moves left, then right, then left, then right, and repeating. To and fro means idhar udhar. The to and fro motion of an object is known as oscillatory motion. Means it is oscillating. For best example are motion of a swing, झूला झूलते हैं, and swinging of a pendulum. These are the examples of oscillatory motion. Just remember the examples. Swinging of a pendulum and motion of a swing. These are the examples of oscillatory motion. And last one is random motion. Random, name itself tells random, means not in a regular manner. When an object changes its direction in an irregular manner while moving, it is said to be in random motion. Movement of a bee. Bee is a insect, and you see they are moving just randomly. Flying kite goes up and comes down, again goes up, comes down in a random motion, are the example of random motion. These are all five. What we learned today? We learned 5 types of motion. They are first translatory, divided into 2, rectilinear and curvilinear. Second is rotational motion. Third is repetitive motion, divided into 2, periodic motion and non-periodic motion. Fourth, oscillatory motion, and fifth, random motion. Hope you understood. Now check some examples. This is a cyclist moving on a straight road, so we call them in a rectilinear motion. This is moon, exhibits circular motion around the earth, but in your book it is called rotational motion. Circular motion is changed in rotational motion, so it is rotational motion. These are also rotational motion. Watch, fan, or merry-go-round, child's play. These are all rotational motion. Here it is called circular motion. This is the example of oscillatory motion. Pendulum of a clock shows periodic motion, and pendulum of a clock shows periodic motion, not oscillatory. In your book it is called oscillatory motion, so call it oscillatory motion. Swinging of a this is swing and this is pendulum. All are example of oscillatory motion, not periodic. And this is example of rotational motion. Spinning top lattu exhibits rotational motion. So hope you understood. Remember all these 5 motions, types of motion. Thanks for watching.